Hari, Hari Om Tatsat, Hari Om Tatsat, Jaya Guru, Jaya Guru. Shuddho Buddho Vimuktaha Shruti Shikhara Giram Mukhyatat Parya Bhumi Yasmat Jatam Samastam Jagadidam Amrtat Vyapya Sarvam Stito Yaha Yasyam Sham Shavataraihi Suranaravanajairekshitam Sarvametad Tam Bhumanam Mugundam Hridigatamamalam Krishnameva Prapadye Tam Bhumanam Mugundam Hridigatamamalam Krishnameva Prapadye Madhya Hridaya Kashe Sadanandamayo Guruhu Udedu Satatam Samyak Swatmananda Prabodhakaha. Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tatsat, Harihi Om Tatsat. Jaya Guru, Jaya Guru. As usual, we shall have 3 times chorus Omkara recitation, which is very, very important. It increases the longevity and health of the heart. It also acts on the pineal gland, and thereby the secretion is extremely beneficial to the brain, vocal system, and the other factors in the body. The mento-intellectual effect of Omkara recitation is something that cannot be experimentally gone into by objective means of research. But we know it subjectively, spiritually, that it has a great effect as on the body, in the mind, intelligence and ego also. I again remind you that while reciting this Omkara, all of you must have an expanded mind. Feel in your mind deliberately that the recitation should spread everywhere upon the earth, generating its benedictions, showering its blessings on all the creatures living upon the earth. This expansion, this coexistential feeling, very, very important in this recitation. Interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably erect. Close your eyes. Open the mouth and the heart as well. Then follow me. Join me rather. Join me. Not follow, join me. Harihi, Harihi, Harihi. Very good. Now, as usual, we shall recite from the 2nd chapter, the 7th verse, where Arjuna significantly does his surrender and prostration before Krishna, asking him to become the Guru and look at himself as the disciple, Arjuna as the disciple, and give him elaborate instructions so that all his problems would be resolved instantly. Krishna is answering, keeping in mind very clearly what was his submission and what was his objective, what he wanted. Karpanya dosho bhata swabhavaha.
Karpanya dosho bhata swabhavaha.
Pritchami tvam.
Pritchami tvam.
Dharma sammudha cheta.
Dharma sammudha cheta.
Yat shreyasyad.
Yat shreyasyat.
Nishchitam bruhi tanme.
Nishchitam bruhi tanme.
Shishyasteham.
Shishyasteham.
Shadhimam.
Shadhimam.
Tvam prapannam.
Tvam prapannam.
Shishyasteham.
Shishyasteham.
Shadhimam.
Shadhimam.
Tvam prapannam.
Tvam prapannam.
It is very clear that Arjuna is making a very specific mention about Yat Shreyasyad Nishchitam Bruhitan Me. Krishna, you should precisely tell me what will bestow for me the supreme Sreyas, everlasting goodness. In fact, it is the knowledge of self coupled with the liberation it brings about. That is what he wants. See, standing in the midst of the battlefield, even after having raised the war cries, what Arjuna seeks from Krishna is the supreme Sreyas. Can you imagine? Anybody can seek Sreyas from any place or any situation of life. You have a birthright to seek Sreyas. We are human beings, not animals. Animals, birds, reptiles, etc., they are quite happy when the hunger is appeased. Maybe they sleep. I don't think the animals and the others have the type of contentment, the level of contentment, the refinement that we have, they don't have. In our case, we are not satisfied if our hunger is appeased, if our senses have their respective objects. Mind is the more important factor inside the body to animate as well as activate the body and senses. This mind is the fulcrum. It is the fulcrum of our life. I have repeatedly said, I would like to repeat it again also, that our body along with the senses, together, they are nothing but matter. The entire body and senses are made up of the food we consume. And what is the food we consume except matter? Nothing else. So the entire body is an outcome of the food that we are taking, we are having. So it is full of matter. And matter is inert, I-N-E-R-T, insentient. How can the body and senses together cause any kind of an experience or knowledge then? They are both inert. So for all our experiences as well as knowledge, we have to identify our mind and mind alone. Mind and mind alone. So whatever we are looking for, everything should be relevant to our mind, relevant to our intelligence. Let it be joy, let it be delight, let it be contentment, let it be rejoicing, revelry. All of it will be relating to the mind. So our life is mental. Therefore, inward. No object from the world can enter our mind and touch it. Everything will remain outside the body. When I see something, the objects of sight are distant from me, they remain separately. Similarly, the sound also. Everything that we touch, smell, touch, smell, hear, everything is outside. Nothing is going to enter your mind. The sound comes and touches the eardrum. The rays of light reflected from the object come to the cornea, and the eyes are sending electrical pulses to the brain center. Where is any object entering your inner being, the mind? Never, my dear souls, never, never. Even the pet child born to you, it remains an outside object, outside object. It gives you sight, it gives you smell, it gives you perhaps taste. When you embrace it, you have a touch. All these are sensory impressions given by the objects. But no object enters the sphere of the mind, the plane of the mind. So the contentment we look for will have to be generated by the mind alone in the mental plane. Once you understand this, the entire life process will change for you, my dear souls. That is what happens to Arjuna. He was crying aloud, crying very aloud. All that stopped when he listened to 64 letters spoken by Krishna first. It was an admonition. But suddenly the tears stopped, and Arjuna's intelligence in place of the mind was activated, and he started raising beautiful questions about war. I agree that I shall fight, but how can I fight? Give me an empowerment, enablement. Give me the inspiration, the insight, the persuasion, the compulsion, the clarity, by virtue of which I shall be able to fight the war as I had been planning for so many years. See, from the emotional level, suddenly when Arjuna went up to the intelligence level, this is what happens in every troublesome situation. We have to activate our mind. So, yat shreyasyan nishchidam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. This one word Sreyas, sought by Arjuna, is repeatedly kept in mind by Krishna, and in all the answers he gives, the extensive discussions he makes, he always is wearing around the word Sreyas, Sreyas, Sreyas. That is that spiritual felicity. Now, in the 5th chapter also, Arjuna begins the whole discussion with a question from his side. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punarayogam cha shamsasi yachreyayetayoregam tanme bruhi sunishchidam. It is true that Sri Krishna has used the word sannyasa. What is Bhagavad Gita itself? Bhagavad Gita itself is a yoga shastra, and the subject discussed there is Brahma Vidya. So you will find at the end of every chapter these two words repeatedly mentioned. Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. Within Brahma Vidya, the Yoga Shastra, the art and science of yoga. What is yoga? Merging, fusing. And what are the things to be fused? Only the things inside will be fused, not anything outside. Can I fuse these two? No. The fusion is to become one. See, at the end of the day, all of you are sleeping for how many hours? 8 hours. And you are wakeful for 16 hours. During all the 16 hours, you are interacting with the objects, and interactional outcomes, imprints, etc. are consistently taking place. In spite of all this, at the end of the day, our mind or the consciousness within completely wipes off the interactional imprints and puts you to sleep. What has happened? The entire wakeful state, wakeful awareness, so to say, it has become fused into your inside. The sleeper alone is there. The entire wakefulness merges with the sleeper. Nothing remains there. He is not conscious of the body, nor is he conscious of the mind, or intelligence, or even ego, not to speak of not being conscious of the world. What does it mean? What does it mean? But in the wakefulness, his whole inside was full of imprints, imprints and imprints. Imprints, imprints and imprints. How many? Numerous, countless, maybe thousands and even lakhs. All those imprints are completely dissolved into the sleeping consciousness. You understand now what is the merger or fusion? Where are all the thoughts gone? Where are all the reactions and responses gone? Where is the worry? Where is the anxiety? Where is the desire? Where is the hatred? Where is the fear? All these are repeated products of the wakeful hours. All of them suddenly get dissolved into the sleeper, only to wake up at the end of 8 hours to be wakeful again. This wakeful display consisting of infinite variety, tell me where from it has come. It has come from the sleeper and the sleep. So what is the sleep now? It is a potent wakefulness, but in an absorbed and a dissolved manner. Suddenly he wakes up and all the interactions continue to be prevailing for a period of 16 hours again. So this is the type of fusion we are looking for. Understand it very well. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shamsasi yachreya edayo regam tanme bruhi sunishchidam. Here Arjuna is seeking knowledge, seeking discrimination, the art, the power and the skill and ability to understand distinctly what is what and which is which. In every chapter, this is what Arjuna needed. This is what Krishna provided. Were they doing any action there? Except that Krishna spoke and Arjuna heard. Was there any action done for the 2.5 hours of the conversation? So what is Gita sadhana? Gita sadhana is a process of enlightenment. It is a process of benefits and benign effects produced by enlightenment. The expansion of the mind and heart, the purity of the mind, the loftiness, the benign nature. The mind will be beaming with a number of beautiful qualities. All the qualities and virtues will be making the mind expansive, resplendent, lofty, refined and beautiful. This is the type of sadhana we are looking for. All the assailment that Arjuna had after seeing Bhishma, Drona and his own kith and kin, all of them left by hearing Krishna. He only heard and he also understood the message. Only by a process of absorbing Krishna's words and assimilating the ideas in his mind, all the troubles and torments totally dissolved, disappeared and became extinct. See the magic effect. When is the world going to understand this wonderful process of illumination, enlightenment and effulgence? I think I must have 1,000,000 mouths to talk to the people from 1,000,000 places about this wonderful process of inward transformation whereby a deluded man becomes undeluded. A timid and weak man becomes suddenly strong. A towering personality. Remember, Arjuna's body was trembling. His bow slipped and the mind was whirling. The intelligence was arguing in a counter manner. All these defects, all these symptoms suddenly disappeared when he heard a few words from Krishna. My dear souls, will you sit for a while and think about the magic effects of a beautiful speech? What can human voice do? An animal voice will not be able to do it. A bird's chirping will not be able to do it. Only the intelligent man, when he is wakeful, if he articulates properly, giving forth beautiful ideas with all the cogency that is required, this kind of an effect will be had. Not otherwise. I have a lot to say about the human voice. Ideas are generated in the brain apparently. Ideas are generated in the brain apparently. I don't know. These ideas are transmitted to the vocal system. That also I don't know, nor do you know. And from the lower part of the abdomen, the sound starts getting produced and shaped. From Nabhi, the umbilical cord, it starts. Then it comes up to the heart. Then it goes and touches the throat. Thereafter, inside the mouth, the palate is touched, lips are touched, nose is touched, tongue also is involved. Nabhi, Hrit, Kantha, Rasana, Nasika, Oshtha. All these parts contribute their respective measures into shaping of the voice. And finally it comes out in an audible, beautiful manner, cogent manner. That is the time I hear my words. Till then I know nothing about them. So as I speak, I always find it's a beautiful display of divinity. It's a beautiful expression of, ineffable expression of providence. I have no difficulty in feeling my connectedness to the Supreme. I don't take responsibility for any voice that I make. The entire voice is made somewhere, I don't know. Then how can I be responsible for it? So there is no merit for me at all, no claim for me at all. When the I part of it, the ego part of it disappears, automatically it becomes divine, spiritual, majestic, profound, magnificent and wholesome. See Arjuna's question. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punar yogam cha shamsasi yachreya etayoregam tanme bruhi sunishchidam. Arjuna is not in a mood to leave Krishna. He wants to have clarity. His grief is gone, but doubt is not gone. Curiosity is not fulfilled. From ignorance he wants to be a knowledgeable person. That knowledge should be concerning the whole world, concerning the human personality and relating to the interactions between the two. He has come here to fight, and he has to fight his own teacher, his own grandfather, a number of other elderly relatives. And in the process, all but 10 are going to die, fall dead out of 4.5 million. Can you imagine the gravity of the situation? If you were to be one like Arjuna, what would have been your response? But all that cloud, all those clouds were completely cleared by Krishna, and the clearance is taking place. So there is no wonder that Arjuna comes up with a question. It cannot be suddenly understood, but Arjuna is understanding very well, though there are doubts. I would like you to recite this sloka. I will recite quarter by quarter and you can follow me. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna.
Sannyasam karmanam Krishna.
Punaryogam cha shamsasi.
Punaryogam cha shamsasi.
Yachreya etayoregam.
Yachreya etayorekam.
Tanme bruhi sunishchitam.
Tanme bruhi sunishchitam.
The way you are explaining matters, my dear Krishna, I seem to be understanding that Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shamsasi. You are using a word karma, also yoga. That yoga, that is very much in your statement. Karma is also there. And I also find another word called sannyasa. So he says, you pay a lot of emphasis on abandonment. And to me it looks that the activities are to be abandoned, karmas are to be abandoned. At the same time you say abandonment is not possible, karmas are indispensable, therefore all karmas should be done with a yoga buddhi. What is this yoga buddhi? Samatva buddhi. Oh. Samatva buddhi. What is this samatva? Primarily addressed to sukha and dukkha. Our five senses interact with the objects of the world. We have only five senses to do this interaction. No matter how numerous, how infinitely various the objects are of the world, when we interact with the objects, to us they become only five. They become only five. See, our five senses, our personality, it is capable of reducing the infinite variety of the world into a mere five. This is an idea I have been propounding for many, many years, more than 6 decades. What is your capacity? Your capacity is to reduce the world into five. And what is this world? Endless world, infinite variety. Number of objects, oh, innumerable. Where are all of them? Every single individual looks at and interacts with the world only with five. With the eyes, sight, with the ears, sound, with the nose, smell, with the tongue, taste, and with the skin, touch. These five, when they go to the mental plane, they are reduced into two in the form of sukha and dukkha. Happiness on the one hand, unhappiness on the other. Actually, are there two if you ask? No, there are no two. Happiness is not different from unhappiness in the sense that the minimum degree of unhappiness is called happiness. Or conversely, the minimum measure of happiness is called unhappiness. See, you think of darkness. What is darkness? The lowest degree of light. Or conversely, what is light? The lowest degree of darkness. So without having unhappiness, you cannot have happiness. Once you have happiness, you will be driven to unhappiness. Each is chasing the other. Each is following the other. Each succeeds the other. So the happiness and unhappiness are not something from where you can pick and choose. It is not possible. Either you have both or you have none, as in sleep. So if happiness and unhappiness are inevitable and both are complementary, if you want to have sukha, you must necessarily have dukkha also. Suppose you want to eat a sumptuous meal. The first factor is no meal, no taste, nothing. You must have hunger. The hunger is another factor. Except a hungry man who can eat well. So the hunger is a complement to consumption of food. And food consumption is a complement to hunger. Both of them go together. Can you imagine a sumptuous meal offered to you and you have no hunger at all? In the same manner, the simile may not be fully applicable, but it is. Either you have happiness and unhappiness alternately, or you don't have both. So he says that samatva attitude towards sukha and dukkha. Don't prefer sukha and don't have a prejudice for dukkha. Both are complementary. If you want to have sukha, you must have preceding and succeeding dukkha. So are they not complementary, the preceding and succeeding dukkhas? They are complementary to sukha. So your mind rises to a level of transcendence. I am no more interested either in sukha, nor I resent dukkha. I will send you off. Pap, jao. Dukkha becomes a complementary to Sukha, a complement to Sukha. Yes, 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 my dear souls. I want every one of you to say and confirm this as. It is dukkha that brings sukha. And sukha drives you again to dukkha. Without two dukkhas, you cannot have the intermediate sukha. So where is the opposition here? You tell me. Use your intelligence, think and speak. Don't think in an ignorant manner. So, this samatva attitude towards sukha and dukkha is called yoga. That yoga you will have only when you are active and actions are producing various kinds of result. If you have even one sensory organ and there is only one object in this world, even then you will have sukha dukkhas. There is no doubt about it. And our only attitude is one of samatva, one of evenness, one of equalness, one of equipoise. This equipoise is the only factor to be successfully pursued, preserved, strengthened and intensified in the performance of all your activities. This is called karma yoga. The presence of the samatva yoga in whatever you do, before, during and after. That also you are possessing. Therefore I want to know, out of these two, yat shreya etayoregam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Decisively, in a well-resolved manner, tell me without any iota of doubt, between the two, which is better, which is superior, which will yield me Sreyas, which I have sought. A very beautiful question. This is how Bhagavad Gita makes you think. Nowadays I am happy to recognize that these management people are very much after Bhagavad Gita. In the whole of the management process, your buddhi is the most decisive factor. Management is not for fools. It is for intelligent people. Every time you have to be rational, not emotional. You cannot have undue preferences or prejudices. You have to be impersonal and impartial. That impersonality and impartiality are the two important norms for any good and effective manager. Don't allow your emotions to play unnecessarily either in you or around you. Look at everything in an appropriate manner, not in a deluded manner, but in an enlightened manner. What is proper, what is right, what is due? Try to respond to this wonderful call. It is the role of the intelligence, very intelligence. And this Bhagavad Gita, how it analyzes, see, in this very question of Arjuna, how much of management insight and refinement is there. Krishna smilingly answering, he is answering. Sannyasa karma yogascha nishreyasa kara ubhau tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyate. Sannyasa karma yogascha nishreyasa kara ubhau tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyate. See? In 32 letters, Arjuna framed the question. In strictly 32 letters, Krishna provides the answer. What a wonderful play. Is it a football match? Just see. Sannyasa karma yogascha, say.
Sannyasa karma yogascha
Nishreyasa kara ubhau
nishreyasakaravubhau
tayostu karma sannyasad
Tayostu karma sannyasat
karma yogo vishishyate.
karma yogo vishishyate.
Arjuna, it is true that I mentioned the word sannyasa. And sannyasa is a wonderful position. It is a wonderful virtue, an embellishment, an ornament, a decoration for the human mind and intelligence while they are active and interactive in the world. Renunciation. Just like we are possessive and possessional, we can also be renunciational and renouncing. What is to be renounced? Possessiveness is to be renounced. Egocentric nature is to be renounced. Preferential and prejudicial outlook and notions, they are the ones to be renounced. So it is a kind of a correction, a reformation, a refinement, a kind of a filtration that should take place. People are unable to understand that this is renunciation. Sannyasaha karma yogascha, the path of sannyasa, karma yogascha, the pursuit of karma and karma yoga, nishreyasa kara ubhau. It is true, I remember, Arjuna, that you sought what is the way for attaining Sreyas. My answer to you will be, both these practices are equally productive and equally will bestow upon you what you seek, namely Sreyas, spiritual felicity. Spiritual felicity. Nishreyasa kara ubhau tayostu. Still, between the two, karma sannyasad karma yogo vishishyade. Never think of abandoning your activity. It is impossible. It is not in line with creation, with nature, with the makeup of your body, formation of your body, formation of your mind, formation of your intelligence. We are all having our food. We have hunger and thirst. We have to appease them. We are appeasing. We are nourishing our body so that the body will be preserved. And it is in this body the 10 sensory organs are situated. If they have to be active, they must be hosted by the body. And if the body has to host them, it has to be fed and nourished. So as long as you eat and the food intake produces energy in you, the energy can be expended only in the form of activity and interaction. So never think of stopping your activity at any time. As long as you are having your food and drink, you have to be active. If there is nothing to do, walk 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, 5, 3 or 4. If you don't have any other activity, stand up and sit, prostrate, prostrate, prostrate. 12 times if you prostrate like a stick, that formal prostration, where the whole body, everything touches the floor. 12 times if you do, you will have no backache at all. All of you are working in offices, sedentary habits. That sedentariness brings a lot of trouble and discomfort for the bodily health. So you will have no backache at all. Suppose you are reading something and you don't understand it, it appears to be a little hard. Close the book, get up, and prostrate about 6 times or 12 times. Allow 5 to 10 minutes to pass. Open the same book and read. You will understand it fast. You know why? Every time we are sitting or standing. For about 8 hours we lie and sleep, that's different. Our brain is above, head is above, all parts are below, and the heart is here. So to pump blood above and to pump blood below, these two are great difference. So when you prostrate, what happens? In every prostration you will find when you are going down to the floor, the hip and the other areas, adjoining areas will be up and blood will rush into the brain. Similarly, when you get up. So it is a brain bath that is taking place. What a wonderful nourishment it becomes. Even the dormant, different subtle portions of the brain, they become active by such prostration. Then Shirshasana or Sarvangasana are the two other factors which will also send blood to the head, brain. Sarvangasana, standing on the neck and the head. The hips supported by the two palms. Shirshasana, standing right on the head. My Gurudev was spending several hours of the day on his Shirshasana. When I used to be with him during night also, whenever I get up, I will find he was standing on the head. He used to play sitar standing on his head. He will revert to the sitar and start playing. That also I have seen. Sannyasa karma yogascha nishreyasa karabhubhau tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyade. There is something called karma sannyasa. But karma yoga is better. Karma sannyasad karma yogo vishishyade. Arjuna, I want to emphasize very clearly, to the best of clarity, that both are equally given to achieving, gaining Nishreyasa, Sreyas which you sought. What is the aim of Karma Yoga? Sreyas. And what is the aim of Karma Sannyasa? The same Sreyas. Sreyas means what? A kind of an embellishment and fulfillment for your mind and intelligence. For the mind, it is in the way of an emotional contentment and fullness. For the intelligence, it is in the way of a knowledge and fulfillment. The quest of the intelligence is always for knowledge. That is the food and nourishment for intelligence. And for the mind, it is peace and contentment, delight, joy. These two can be had by pursuing Karma Yoga and also by pursuing Sannyasa. There is no difference at all. Both are spiritual processes and pursuits. Tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyade. Then if there is a difference, I can only tell you that the difference is in the matter of pursuing and achieving a result while living in this world and having so many involvements, bodily, oral, mental and intellectual involvements. You know, we have 4 different kinds of activity. One is bodily and sensory, which are visible. Another is articulation by the mouth. These are the external ones. The remaining 2 are mental, mentation, intelligence, intellection. So we have physical and sensory activities, oral activities like articulation, then thoughts, emotions, etc., thinking, then applying the intelligence rationally to find out and discriminate and arrive at the right knowledge and decision. On the basis of all these, I can say that Karma Yoga is better. How many people are there who can leave everything and spend only in contemplation? Still there are a number of sannyasins in this world. As I am talking to you, some people in India would be taking up sannyasa. That means they are not interested in the normal activities of the household, doing everything for oneself and the family, having a job, earning money, going to the market, purchasing this, accumulating, putting money in the bank, invest in shares. All these are the household worldly activities. They are not interested. They say, God who made this world and who gives us food in various forms, that God will feed me also. I am going to be installed in Him, or I will install Him in my heart. Such people are there. You cannot say they are not. And quite a number of them are there, not in lakhs, but at least in hundreds and thousands in our great country, we have such people. So, from the practical point of view, karma sannyasa is not easy. Karma yoga is better, therefore. So he speaks very clearly, Krishna. It's a very decisive comparison and conclusion. Jneyassa nitya sannyasi yo nadveshti nakangshadi nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyade. What a wonderful statement. I sometimes wonder who understands this in a reflectional manner. You have to read, understand the meaning of words and phrases. Finally, a summary of the message in each sloka. Then try to evaluate, assimilate. Quite a number of people are doing it. It is to help the common folk that I have written the insight into Bhagavad Gita, very specially. The idea was to present the book to the country heads, at least 25 country heads in the world. I wanted to conduct a Bhagavad Gita convention in Delhi. We were conducting global conventions, finally it was online. Actually we wanted to have a convention in Delhi where as many people are possible from the world, country heads should be invited. Our government, External Affairs Ministry particularly, and the Prime Minister will have to help us in the whole process. Then, while inviting them, they must know what is this Bhagavad Gita. So I decided to write, apart from the Sanskrit sloka, the transliteration, then the meaning, I have written 150 words in the form of a note for every verse. The idea is for the reader, he must be able to understand the message of the single verse and how it is related to the general theme or whatever is said before. That was the idea. People who read the book, they find it is very, very substantial. So you should get such a book and start reading. Jneyassa nitya sannyasi yo nadveshti na kankshadi nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyade. My dear listeners, I find nectar in these words. The nectar is drizzling, maybe in bigger drops. Now recite. Jneyassa nitya sannyasi
Jneyassa nitya sannyasi
yo nadveshti na kankshati
yo nadveshti na kankshati
nirdvandvo hi mahabaho
nirdvandvo hi mahabaho
sukham bandhat pramuchyate
sukham bandhat pramuchyate
sukham bandhat pramuchyate
sukham bandhat pramuchyate.
I shall explain this verse, but my dear listeners, will you be with me when I explain? Jneyaha sa nitya sannyasi. Dear Arjuna, be attentive to what I say. Know that person to be an incessant sannyasin, a ceaseless, continuous sannyasin. Jneyasa, that person. Which person? What shall I do to drive home this message? Which person is a sannyasin? The one who has shaven his hair and beard? The one who is wearing the kashaya dress? They are of course sublime. They are devoting fully. It is not that kind of a man. One who says, I don't want anything, everything is left. No, no. Nyayasa nitya sannyasi. He is a constant, incessant sannyasin. Who? Yo nadveshti nakangshadi. Who does not hate and does not hanker after, desire. Shall I get up and talk? See, the two compare the words. Know that person to be a sannyasin. Who? He who does not hate anybody, anything. So the hatred part in his mind has completely become extinct. Na kankshati, who fosters no desire also. That man is a sannyasi. Should you not wonder, is this possible? My dear souls, it is 1,000 times possible. As the mind desires now because of ignorance, delusion and doubt, in the same manner the same mind will stop desiring when the doubts are removed and delusion and ignorance vanish. If 1,000 people come and persuade me, Swamiji, have a desire. No. The little Prahlada, when Narasimha sat before him and said, now I am ready, please ask for boons. The little Prahlada said, 7-year-old Prahlada, my dear Lord, why are you speaking like this? I am not worshipping you thinking that I have some desire and it has to be gratified by you. My relationship with you, if at all, is not like that at all. I am born in an Asura clan. My father is a hater of you. So you can imagine the environment in which I am born and I am still living. I have no interest, no peace, nothing. So I resorted to your feet. It is natural. It is just like a magnetic stone, a magnetic piece attracting the iron rod. I am an iron and you are the magnet. I make no effort at all to think of you and to come to you. It's a natural affinity that I have. Such being the case, why are you asking me to take boon? I don't want any boon at all. The normal master who engages a servant will tip and give incentives to the servant to make him work more. And the servant also will try to do additionally and well something in order to please his master so that he will get additional favors. In such an instance you can say boon, but I am neither a servant of that type nor are you a master of that type. So this giving of boon and taking of boon, they do not apply to me at all. Can you imagine? What to speak of India, my dear souls? Where will you find such discussions? Only a Paramahamsa will be able to present this kind of a proposition. He will bring God and give him a position. Stand here, my dear God. And he will bring another human, stand here as a devotee and make a subject discuss between them. The Paramahamsa alone can do it, not the others. They are afraid of God. They want to propitiate God. Either they want to get something, extract something from God. What is this? Prahlada was saying, in spite of all these things, if you offer me a boon and I don't take it, you will consider that I am so audacious. No. In that case, I can maximum tell you. My dear souls, are you hearing me? Borrow at least 1,000,000 years and listen to me. He said, I want one boon. What is that? I don't want any desire to sprout or germinate in my heart. No desire should sprout or germinate in my heart. If you can ensure this, I am very happy. My dear souls, don't be beggars by fostering desires. The mind that desires is a beggar number one. The mind that is not interested in desire becomes superbly opulent. Say, I want nothing. Say, I want nothing before God. Install Him in your heart and be His, or make Him yours. Both are equally acceptable. Nyayasya nitya sannyasi yo nadveshti na kankshadi. The place for sannyasa is your mind and heart. And what do you have to renounce? Abandon? You have to abandon dvesha, hatred, dislike, resentment, enmity. And along with that, other things also. Nakanksha. Desire also should not be there. Why are you desiring? Are you not full with your own self? Is not the self blissful? My dear souls, can you follow me? Will you? 16 hours you have been interacting every day with the world. The interactions are with persons, places and events. You enjoy so many things. You dislike also so many things. The 16 hours duration, that is over. You sleep. When you sleep, you are unconscious of even your body, mind, intelligence and ego, not to speak of the world. While sleeping, you alone are there. The sleeper doesn't want food and drink. He has no hunger, he has no thirst, he has no desire. He doesn't want anything at all. He alone is there. When he wakes up, he says, I slept comfortably, I forgot everything I never knew. Was it not a state of contentment? Where from did it come? Was he associated with something? No. Was he not immensely blissful? Yes. So tell me, what is your nature? Are you a beggar? Are you a destitute? Or are you self-filled, self-full? Answer me if you have intelligence. Don't disclaim it. You are intelligent. So in order to be happy, do we want anything? No. No. Even otherwise, contentment is an emotion and it belongs to the mind. Mind generates contentment. With many things which are supposed to make you affluent, you can still be miserable. With nothing, you can still be super happy. Can you deny any of my propositions? Any, to the least. Not with human intelligence. A dog may deny, a buffalo may deny, but not an intelligent, rational human. This is Bhagavad Gita, mind you. Adore it, read it, understand it, possess it. Let Bhagavad Gita thoughts and propositions run parallel to your mind. You will find that you are more edified every day. Your inner resources go on increasing tremendously. Your performance becomes better. Your interactions become excellent. Your thought pattern changes. You become purer, more and more resplendent, effulgent, scintillating, sparkling, brilliant. Is there any way of filing your mind to improve it? Is there any ointment to be applied to improve the mind? Nothing. Only thoughts, feelings and emotions can touch the mind, improve it. Only knowledge sufficiently boiled in the crucible of reason and rationality will be able to deliver the mind from its bondage. See how Arjuna gets delivered. He has already become delivered. Yo nadveshti na kankshadi nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyade. You ask for Sreyas. What is Sreyas? It is the redemption from bondage. Bondage. What is bondage? The shackles the mind and the intelligence are making. Out of ignorance, delusion, misunderstanding, misapprehension. The mind is generating bondage. It is not a bondage with rope and strands. It is a bondage with miscreations. The intelligence out of ignorance and delusion. The mind out of constrictions, emotional constrictions. Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho. The entire world is a conglomeration of dvandvas. All the dvandvas put together generate only one set of dvandvas in our mind, sukha and dukkha. The dvandvas may be innumerable, crores and crores of them. But when they are felt, they are experienced in the mind level, they become only two. Develop samatva towards sukha dukkhas. That samatva pursuit, sukham bandhat pramuchyade. It will liberate you comfortably, contentedly, beautifully, smoothly, endearingly. It will liberate you. Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyade. What a beautiful song! Like a child made to hear a beautiful song while he is crying, putting him on the cradle, which I have done in my young days. I used to put to sleep my little nephews, nieces. When they are crying or even otherwise, I used to put them in the cradle, sometimes sit on the cradle. And with my heel I used to swing, pressing on the ground. And I will start chanting some Sanskrit shlokas. Those days I used to chant from Narayaniya. A typical composition in Kerala consisting of 1034 verses. A concise version of Srimad Bhagavatam. Especially I used to recite that Rasakrida portion. By the time I recite 3 or 4 verses, every child would go to sleep. Why I mentioned it? Bhagavad Gita is also a Gita for all of you who are crying in the hands of the world. It is a song. It's a song. How beautifully has he sung it. Nyayassa nitya sannyasi yo nadveshti na kankshadi nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyade sukham bandhat pramuchyade sukham bandhat pramuchyade. My voice is not good. I don't think I would be able to speak for long. Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho. Only one note. One note. Evenness, equalness of attitude towards sukha and dukkha. All dvandvas in the world. What are the dvandvas? Everything comes under dvandvas. Body and soul, God and world, man and woman, love and hate, profit and loss, victory and defeat, heaven and hell, sin and virtue, good and bad, black and white, inside and outside, head and feet, all are dvandvas. These dvandvas put together create only 2 experiences or 2 responses in us. They are sukha and dukkha. And develop an even attitude. Accept both, assimilate both, accept both, assimilate both, be afloat in both. Never wrestle at all. Let there be no war, no conflict in your mind. Dvandvas are produced by the world. They prevail in the world. You are not the author. The author, let him look after them. Your attitude should be to shape your response, formulate your response, intensify it, strengthen it, strengthen it. The more the Dvandvas come, the greater master you will be over them. No further training and opportunity are necessary. To see an idol, you have to go to the temple. To be a nirdvandva, you have to go nowhere. Dvandvas are surrounding you. And look at them with an even attitude. Mahabaho, oh mighty armed Arjuna. It is not enough if your arms are mighty. Have the might of the mind, might of the intelligence, the might of stability, the magnificence of evenness, equipoise. Sukham bandhat pramuchyade. My dear souls, this is a voyage of knowledge. Voyage of knowledge. In the waters of beautiful inner spiritual wisdom, Arjuna is made to swim. Bah! He started asking questions, mind you. And in this he has raised questions about sannyasa. Sannyasa, the last step in human life. Many people desire to be a sannyasin, but they are unable to. At least I would like some of you, maybe digital percentage, digital number, to become sannyasins. To be a sannyasin means what? To be contemplating upon these statements exclusively. In a home, you will not be able to do it. In a profession, you may not be able to do it. Not you may not, you will not be able to do it. You should come to our ashram. What are we doing here? We are also busy. We are very active. We have quite a number of computers here. You may not imagine. Quite a number of computers are there. Not in proportion to the inmates here. We have quite a number of them. All of them are busy. And everybody is also busy. What are we doing? If you ask me, I only speak and write, nothing else. Nuthan, Swamiji, Ma and the Brahmacharis, all of them working together, they have relieved me of all physical management here. So I only speak or write, but I do. I spend about 6 to 8 hours on my computer. When the letters come to the computer, I am so happy. I sometimes wonder, the computer misses my happiness, but it causes a lot of happiness to me. See, I started using a manual typewriter maybe at the age of 20. So I never write English, always type. From the manual typewriter, manual typewriters were of two kinds, lifting the carriage and deepening the keys. So I have worked on the lifting carriage computer. With one finger you have to press and the whole carriage will have to go up. Can you imagine the strain? So from manual computer I switched on to an electrical manual typewriter. I switched on to the electrical typewriter. From the electrical one I moved on to the electronic typewriter, which had 5,000 or 500 or 5,000 characters memory. Then to the PC. In the PC, all mistakes and this, that, everything is removed, and finally it comes, I call it, it is like a full moon coming on an Amavasya, new moon day. Every letter, beautifully. Previously it was all inked one. Now there is no ink, all colors are there. Our Brahmachari Namrata, after consulting all of us, she decided to get a color printer for me. So I generally have these slogas, etc. So they said, you must have different colors for you, it will facilitate you. So these slogas, etc., I am not using my specs, it's all printed here with different colors. What a beautiful privilege it is. Nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyade. So in our ashram, what is the wealth or the treasure of this ashram? Every particle of sand and cement here echoes renunciation, renunciation, austerity, austerity. All the inmates here, I don't think they have any egocentric position at all. Nothing belongs to us. We ourselves belong to the world, and the world belongs to God. Is there anybody who can come and claim the ownership of the world? I have never seen, nor will there be anybody. So the world is owned by God. If the earth is God's, if the sun is God's, if the planets and stars hovering in the sky all are not ours but God's, what are we, the denizens of the earth? Can we be our parents, our husbands, etc.? So I only have to say, I am nothing and I want nothing. I am nothing and I want nothing. I have not found anything to say, I possess it, it belongs to me. I myself belong to. I am breathing air. This is not provided by my father or mother or anybody, the chief minister or the prime minister. The air is freely there. That is what I breathe. If you close my nose and mouth, the body will stop functioning in 2 or 3 minutes. Then is the body yours? If the body is not yours, is there anything that you can call yours? Please stop. Stop saying mine. Stop claiming things. You have nothing of yours. You have nothing to say yours. If the body is not mine, it is not maintained by me. All the things that are around me, can I say they are mine? Nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyade. So in the ashram, it's an austere place. It's a pious place. We don't have any jumbo puja here. We are people belonging to what? But the jnana type of renunciation. Jnana. The renunciation is in the mind level. It is of wrong ideas. Ahankara you renounce, possessiveness you renounce, and desire you renounce. When all the three are renounced, you become divine. No more are you a human. You become divine, divine, divine. The body will still remain. The mind and intelligence also will be there. But they will be radiating spirituality and spiritual wisdom, divinity and divine splendor. The transformation is inside, inner. We are floating in nirdvandvata. Let sukha come, I will float over it. Let dukkha come, equally I am afloat. My dear sukha dukkhas, you come and go. Here am I, not coming and not going. I am the only stable person here. The I alone is the stable presence, around which sukha dukkhas come and go. I allow them to come and go. The I is afloat. This is what Krishna is. Jneyassa nitya sannyasi yonadveshti nakangshadi nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. Let me stop. I think I have spoken 5 minutes more. Though I felt I would stop it after an hour.
Jai Guru. In today's session, Poojya Swamiji has explained the first few verses of Chapter 5, which is also called the Sannyasa Yoga. And in his explanation, Swamiji has beautifully brought out the trail of thought that Arjuna's mind took from being a sorrow-stricken warrior to a seeker of Sreyas who wants the ultimate fulfillment of human life. And just as Krishna bestowed clarity on Arjuna, our Swamiji has also given all of us a dip in the ocean of wisdom. As we had told you last week, Poojya Swamiji along with Ma would be going to Delhi NCR to conduct the annual Delhi Jnana Yajna, the 47th in a row from 17th November to 4th December. The programs will be held at Center for Inner Resources Development. The contact details are shown in the slide right now. Nutan Swamiji, as you all know, is now in CIRD Jamshedpur, conducting the Sadhana Shibiram there. The residential retreat is over. There are quite a lot of satsangs, discourses and social welfare programs going on now. Yesterday, there was an ICANN program for children of the age group 10 to 15. We would like to show you a small video clip of that program where Sita Lakshmi ji from Malaysia conducted the program and the children were all happily participating in it. Tomorrow, coming up this week are the other programs. On 24th October will be the Voice of Upanishad Satsang by Nutan Swamiji. Poojya Swamiji's Malayalam Satsang based on Bhagavatam will be on October 25th Wednesday. Mass, Global Satsang towards eternal peace and happiness will be on October 26th Thursday. And the next session, the 151st Global Satsang with Poojya Swamiji based on Bhagavad Gita will be on next Saturday, October 28th. We request Poojya Swamiji to conclude today's session.
Invariably, I chant the same verse for concluding these days. Maybe I started, I don't know when. Samvedya varjidam anuttamam ekamadyam. All of you listen to my verses, but never have I found anybody saying, Swamiji, what does this mean? Will you please explain to us? There were one person, namely Rajamanikyam. He finally migrated to America. He used to say, I used to recite, that was a verse I alone made by me. He said, Swamiji, this verse you should explain. So others simply hear and hear. After all, when I recite a verse, it has got some very special message, particularly in our own line of thinking, applicable to the mind and intelligence. But our students are wonderful. How many intelligent students, even IAS officers are there. But none of them ever ask me, what is the meaning of this verse? I don't think it is circulated much. So recently, one Ila from Delhi had come, New Delhi. She said, Swamiji, you should explain this verse. So I took time and 2 or 3 times I explained this verse, told them how it should unleash a great deal of introspection in your own mind and intelligence. So that is the verse I am going to recite today. Samvedya varjitamanuttamamekamadhyam samvidpadam vikalanam kalayan mahatman hridyeva tishtha kalanarahita kriyam tu kurvan akartrapadamethya samodita shri kurvan akartrapadamethya samodita shri. Hari, Hari, Hari. We shall have the conclusional Omkara. Take your pose for it. In this verse, which is addressed to Sri Rama, 16-year-old Rama, by Vasishtadeva, he says, Hridyeva tishtha. You abide, you be seated in your own heart. Kalanarahita kriyam tu. What does it mean? Kalanarahita. Have no undue desire, imagination, all crisscross thoughts, expectations, etc. Allow everything to flow in its own manner. Kurvan agartrapadamedya samodita shrihi. What a wonderful concept. I don't know anywhere else in this world this kind of a phraseology will be there. Reach the state of agartrata. I am not a performer. I am not a possessor. I am not a desirer. And I want nothing. When you have this kind of an enrichment, you will find you become a medium for the divine best flow. The best benign things will flow from you in the form of activity and interaction. What a wonderful statement. For intelligent people, this is panacea, my dear souls. But you must have the intelligence to understand, appreciate, assimilate and become. Okay. Hari Om Tats. Jai Guru.